Hello and welcome to today's somatic practice, where I want you to feel what it's like to work through anxiety related to technology and feeling into what technology can be like for you as a resource. So when you're ready, I invite you to either close your eyes or use a soft gaze at the ground. And start getting comfortable, whether you're seated or lying down, just letting your body settle in wherever it wants to be. And now taking note of your breath, just noticing how deep or shallow your breathing is right now, not trying to change it. And then quickly doing a body scan, just noticing your toes, your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your belly, your chest, your arms, your neck, and your head. And now scanning back down your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your belly, your hips, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. And now just noticing a feeling of being grounded wherever you are. So if you're seated, picturing your feet rooting into the ground. Just feel the weight of your body being supported by the earth. And now I want to invite you to start exploring a recent trigger around technology. Just bringing to mind a time when you felt extremely anxious. It could be because something broke, something didn't work the way you wanted it to, you lost a lot of information, you were trying to design something and it just would not work the way you wanted. Just letting yourself lean into the triggered feeling, the constriction, whatever that is for you. And as you start tapping into this trigger, pay attention to the emotion that is coming up. See if you can identify what the emotion is. Is it anger, frustration, grief, sadness, shame? See if you can identify the emotion. And again, just letting yourself lean into the feeling, knowing that you're safe, knowing that I've got you, knowing that we're not going to be here forever. As you identify the emotion, and maybe the feeling is even getting bigger as we think about it, can you track where you feel it physically in your body? As you lean into the emotion, what physical sensations arise? Is it one part of your body or more than one part of your body? If there's more than one part of your body, what's the strongest, most uncomfortable sensation? And does this sensation, does it have any movement? Can you describe the movement or weight? Does it have any color? Does it have any shape? Or maybe it's just the physical sensation and there's not any of these descriptors, and that's okay too. And now that we've found where this is in your body, I want you to see if this needs anything from you. Does it want touch, maybe putting your hand on the place? Does it want sound? Maybe try quietly humming and seeing how that feels on the physical sensation. Or maybe even moving. Just take a moment to experiment with movement and sound and seeing if the trigger that we found and the physical sensation associated with it, if it wants anything from you. A lot of times when we have a trigger, it can be associated with something that happened in our past. And the beautiful thing is we can choose to explore that, but we can also find relief without exploring that. And so now I want you to just keep noticing this physical sensation, but maybe start creating some distance, either by focusing on my words more, or picturing yourself sitting next to yourself instead of inside yourself, or maybe even rising above where you're sitting right now. Just create some distance with the physical sensation. And we're just going to let it be here. And now I want you to picture in your mind a creature that comes into your room with you, and it startles you. And you also know that it has a warmth about it. You were frightened of it when it first came to be with you, but you know that it's here to support you. And I want you to just observe this creature and notice this warm, glowing, inviting light that is coming from this being. This being is here to support you. It's here to hold you. It's here to reduce effort. It wants to carry heavy weight for you. Noticing how warm and safe and comfortable you feel in the presence of this being, of this new unfamiliar being, I want you to let yourself be supported by it. And I'm curious, whatever arises for you, maybe you want to feel the feeling of being held, or hold its hand, or just sit next to it, whatever feels like a safe way to be supported by this unfamiliar but warm and inviting and loving being. Maybe there's a person or a place that makes you feel supported and loved. And maybe you can picture that if it's easier to connect to. But just imagine yourself being supported and loved and leaning into that. And as you let yourself lean into this warm, inviting support, I'm curious what emotions arise. And maybe there's nothing, maybe it's a sense of peace, but letting yourself see if you can identify an emotion that arises when you let yourself be supported and held. And I'm curious, when you identify the emotion, if you can find a physical sensation in your body. Maybe it's one, maybe it's more than one, but find where this comfort, where this support lands in your body. What physical sensation arises? And as you've found this sensation, can you add any more descriptors to it? Does it have any movement, color, weight, size? And if not, that's okay. And now I want you to imagine, if it's accessible to you, I want you to imagine taking this sensation of letting yourself be loved and supported, and I want you to move it to your right hand, just seeing if you can picture it being swept from your body gently into your right hand, and just noticing how that makes your hand feel to move this safe, supported, loved feeling into your right hand. And now I want you to go back to the triggered feeling. So we created a little bit of distance, and now I want you to sweep that feeling into your left hand. Wherever you placed it before, maybe it was just still in the back of your mind. Let's sweep it from the body into your left hand. And notice how that makes your left hand feel to move this triggered constriction into your left hand. And now I want you to see if you can feel the left hand and the right hand at the same time. Moving back and forth if you need to from the trigger and then into feeling safe and loved and supported. Just taking a few moments here to move your attention back and forth into your hands and seeing if you can feel both at the same time. And you can play with this exercise as long as you want. If you want to pause the audio and just continue to feel into the trigger and into the resource. But I invite you now to maybe take one big deep breath And as you exhale, I want you to blow the trigger out of your body. And coming back into your space now, maybe just wiggling your toes, your fingers, maybe squeezing your eyes and then relaxing them before blinking them open. And I want you to know that it's really normal to feel anxiety with things that are unfamiliar, scary, that you don't understand. And just like when I guided you to see a creature coming into your space, you might have felt startled, nervous, or afraid. And then this being was there to support you. And technology is the same. It's a masculine entity that allows you to enjoy resting in your feminine energy. And it's okay if it's scary and unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and it gets easier. But let yourself feel the feeling of being afraid, of being triggered, of being frustrated and angry. And then also let yourself lean into the enjoyment of having a system to support you, knowing that this technology, even if you don't feel it now, it's going to make things easier for you, and letting yourself imagine what that will feel like. I hope this meditation was supportive to you, and I will talk to you soon.